Who want one last trip to the long trail?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about Zafina and her story and where it could go into Tekken 8. I did a video like this on January 13th, 2021, so a little over a year ago. The reason why I wanted to do this video again, because the first video, it was a pretty good video, but I was definitely still getting used to YouTube at the time. I was definitely trying to still figure things out and how I wanted the channel to work. So I wanted to do the video again, but also another reason why I want to do it again is because I feel like I learned so much. For those of you who were subscribed way back then, a year ago, 2 years ago, you guys seen firsthand how this channel has progressed and how I've improved. And when it comes to Zafina's story, I learned a lot about other characters, and it helps me better understand her place and what her role will be. And that's of course if she's actually in the game, because Zafina, one of the least played characters in the game, as well as Ganryu. What I was thinking, what would be really cool for Zafina if she was like either a boss or a sub boss, because her having Azel in her body is doing some crazy things to her, and I wonder if she will eventually become a villain. Well, not a villain, but eventually become a enemy to Jin and Kazuya. Now, the comment that inspired me to do this video again, it says Zafina has Azel's power. Azel itself is destroyed. She has Azel's orb. I think she will be able to control Azel's power. So this is just some of the things that I want to talk about in this video. When I looked up her wiki and I looked up who some of her allies is at the moment, because I think that's very important to see who the characters like and dislike can give us kind of a understanding of who possibly can be aiding this character, who possibly can be helping or hurting. Likes, it says her tribe, of course. Then you have Zafina's guru, which basically is also her tribe. And then you have Raven here. Raven is such a focal point for many characters. Raven is allies with Lars, allies with Zafina, allies with Yoshimitsu. And I don't know if you would consider him an ally with Jin, but I don't know if they have any rival. I know Raven does not like Heihachi, but I don't think he has any true beefs with Jin. So Raven, he really is like a focal point. And if they were to put him in the game, he would be able to maybe settle the beef between certain characters. But then you have Wang, and then you have Archers of Cyrus. This is Claudio's organization. This is basically Claudio's team. She likes them, and we'll see why in a second. Dislikes, it's Azel, evil beings, and then her left hand injury. I think that's kind of funny. It's like in her dislikes, it's her left hand being injured. And this is also very important because let's get into the story. And I hope you The reason she had to absorb Azel into her left hand is because of Jin's failures. And we're going to see as I break down this story what the implications of that may be. I want to start off with Tekken 6. It says, Zafina heard of the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 6 and that Kazuya and Jin were meant to be participating in the tournament. Zafina set out to join the tournament with intentions of destroying the 2 evil stars. That is so important. 2 evil stars. She wants to destroy them. In the scenario campaign, Zafina has a minor role in this mode. She secretly follows Lars throughout the story, just like Raven. She does, however, appear in some scenes. She talked to Wang about having faith in Lars regarding his intentions to stop the war. So at this point in time, it's like at the peak of destruction. He's trying to cause as much destruction, as much chaos to awaken Azel so he can destroy him. And there's a few people who knows why he's doing this, like actually why he's doing this, and those people are the ones who is monitoring him. They're following him. They're trying to see if he's successful, because here's the thing. Jin fails. We already know that. He tried to kill Azel and he failed to do so. Azel survived and Zafina had to swoop back around and trap Azel in her body. What if she never did that? What if Azel was just able to linger, to maybe heal, to maybe grow free? Something that I think about with Tekken 7 and also Tekken 8, I wonder if Jin even knows that Azel survived. He punched Azel and fell down that hole. We don't know what happened after that. All we know that is Raven found him at the top of the desert in a helicopter. So we don't even know if he knows that he failed. We don't even know if he knows that Azel is still alive, right? It says she watches Lars' vehicle leave the container terminal, and she confronts Jin and Nina in front of Azel's temple, telling him of her premonitions and warning him about his warring. Though she is unaware of his knowledge of Azel, she also assisted Lars and Raven in their fight against Tekken 4 soldiers in Stage 1 and provides them with vital information on Azel.
Whatever threat it may be, I will not allow it to sow in this land. Of that, I am sure.
So I don't know what information she gave them. I'm surprised she was helping them in this instant. Like, I don't have the actual script for what these characters were saying to each other. If one of you guys know, definitely comment what she actually was saying, because I'm surprised she didn't try to kill Jin right then and there. But at the same time, maybe just knowing the Tekken 6 story, Jin believed that if he destroyed Azel, then the devil gene would go away. And maybe he told Zafina that, and she was like, okay, if you, basically they have the same goal. Zafina want to get rid of the devil gene, and Jin does too. And she was like, okay, cool. If you could go kill that demon and then get it over with, then fine. I'm not going to stop you, because if I do stop you, first off, Kazuya is still out there roaming. I may not be able to stop him. And then Azel will still wake up, because there's a world war going on right now. I think she was kind of forced to let him continue. It was too late to stop him. Now, from this moment on, Lars and Raven, they both get to Azel first and they beat him up. But only someone who carries the devil gene can truly defeat Azel. So Azel gets back up, and then that's when Jin comes along, and then Jin punches them in the hole, and then they are both presumed dead. It's funny, when they were doing the promotion for Tekken 7 and they were talking about, you know, the early concepts of the game, Harada was making it seem like Jin died for good. He was like, somebody was like, oh, Jin's going to be in Tekken 7, right? And he's like, well, we don't know, because he was fighting with Azel, and Azel, they fell in the hole, so we don't know if he even survived. It's like, come on, bro. You know Jin is going to come back to life. But it's just funny how, like, at the end of Tekken 6, no one really knew the outcome. But let's read Zafina's story. This is Tekken 7. One of the clans who has protected the royal graves since ancient times. It was not possible to prevent Azel's resurrection due to collision between the two devastating stars, Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima.
The threat of two stars that would shake the world is now over. Yet, why does this uneasiness within still torment me?
When they fight, Azel gets more powerful. He feeds off of their energy. And them fighting is what resurrected him, is what unleashed him. That was just enough to allow him to return. And she feels like if they fight again, which in Tekken 8, they're definitely going to fight again, will that again be enough energy for him to break free of her body or take over her body, possess her, and then in a way making Zafina the final boss, right? The resurrected Azazel appeared to have been defeated by Lars and Jin Kazama, but it barely escaped extinction in spirit form. Upon discovering this, Zafina succeeded in sealing Azazel within her body by a ritual passed down by her clan. So this is why I say Jin failed, because it says here, escaped extinction. Barely is the word that they use. And well, I won't say it's all for nothing. Jin definitely made him weaker. He definitely is in spirit form now. He's not in this big physical dragon form. He's now in spirit form. And also, Zafina was able to capture him. This next part is really interesting though. However, Zafina felt that the power of Azazel sealed in her body gradually increased. A side effect of sealing Azazel in her left hand injury, which has been transformed into Azazel's claw. This is a quote. Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima are still alive. If I do not cancel the blood of the devil, Azazel will become resurrected again. Remaining time is short. This is a quote from Zafina. So now in Tekken 8, she's going to have to figure out how to kill Jin and how to kill Kazuya, because time is of the essence. Azazel's going to come back. And this is why I think it's so important. Do Jin know he failed? Because if he knows, then he can work with Zafina once again to try and defeat him. Maybe Zafina can release the spirit from her arm. I don't know if that's possible, but maybe they can do something about it. But if Jin doesn't know and Zafina is trying to chase him down and track him all over the globe, it's going to be that much harder to get this whole thing concluded. The final paragraph says, Zafina thought that in order to begin the hunt for one of the devil blood, she had to contact Archers of Sirius, a group of exorcists that has operated since ancient times. This is where Claudio comes into the fray. In her trailer, she said some very interesting things about Claudio or to Claudio, and I quickly want to identify those because it's so important. And I do know the story or the trailer, it's not actual part of the story, but I feel like quotes like these gives us a hint of their intentions, because look at her trailer. The first character she's matched up with is against Lars, and then the second one is Claudio, two characters that's very important to her story. When Kunimitsu was announced, they matched her up with Yoshimitsu, right? When Lita was announced, they matched her up with Jin, right? So they do try to keep it somewhat story related, even though if it's a loosely related kind of thing. But the quote, the first one says,
You possess the power to destroy the devil.
This is something that I've been talking about for so long when it comes to Claudio. He's been shown in Japanese slot machines. He's been shown to fight Devil Jin and to be battling him. And you have to wonder if Zafina and Devil Jin, or if Zafina and Claudio team up, will they be able to do something, one, about Azazel, and two, about Jin? The next thing that I want to highlight is her rage art. She says,
Cannot be changed.
I wonder if this some way ties into the world being destroyed, or maybe the world being saved in a sense. And maybe her story, the reason why she's doing all these things is because she feels like it's her fate, it's her destiny, and she doesn't feel like it can be changed. The next part in here that's really, really interesting. At the end of the round, she walks up on Claudio here. She lifts up her hand like she's about to strike him. And then it cuts to like Tekken 6 where she's opening the wall. It flashes. Azazel, he's like chained up, but also there's like icicles puncturing him. She has visions of all these things, and then she stops right before she finishes off Claudio. She looks at her hand.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
And the way she's grabbing it as if like someone else is controlling it. She's grabbing it as if Azazel is influencing her, as if Azazel is kind of trying to take over her. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. So much can happen. Will Claudio actually help her? Because in this trailer, she beats up Claudio. I don't know if that would actually happen in the story, but I think it's very interesting because, you know, she feels like time's running out. She doesn't have too much time. And that's the thing too about Tekken 8. Jin and Kazuya are definitely going to fight. And I think their fight will impact so many other characters. Not only Zafina, but you also have Asuka. You also have Zhao Yu. You also have Lars, Lei. There's so many other characters that will be impacted by what happens. Quick things that I want to read. This is from the trivia. Kazuya Mishima, the second evil star whom she tried to prevent from colliding with Jin. Jin Kazama, she tried to stop him and Kazuya from colliding, as according to legend of her people, it would eventually lead to the end of the world. It's unknown how Zafina felt when Jin told her that he was going to destroy Azazel. Jin remains her target in Tekken 7. Wang, her ally, she assured him that Lars will save the world, a prediction that has become only half true. When it comes to Raven, Zafina mentions a scenario campaign that they have a prior professional relationship. She later works with Raven to defend her village in scenario campaign. That's why I think it's so important for Raven to be there, because he literally, I get, you know, they took him out of Tekken 7 because of popularity or whatever, but he really needs to be there for the story. I feel like they cannot, definitely, when you talk about Zafina, when you talk about Wang, when you talk about Lars, he is so important to that inner circle. He needs to be there. I don't know how it can make sense without him. But that's it. I just wanted to do this just because Zafina is definitely one of the coolest characters. Them putting Azazel in her hand just changes so much. And I love that design choice and that step forward in the story that they made. We wanted the story DLC, but I think what they did with Zafina is the closest thing that we got to that. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.